Welcome back to the port. I'm the Gareth Major, and this is WoWs Weekly, our weekly video which covers news in the game in possibly the week coming up and the week gone by. Now, this week's been quite a busy week with the new patch dropping, and most of the stuff's already been covered in patch note looks and first looks, so I don't really want to cover that all over again. However, I thought at the moment there's quite a bit of news floating around from the live stream, and I thought it'd be nice just to have it consolidated into a quick video, possibly some of my thoughts and ideas of what might be coming, but obviously as always take some of my thoughts with a pinch of salt. So first on the agenda is there are plans to have World of Warships Legends on the next generation console, and the aim is to have our accounts transferable, so that means all our progress, premium ships, commander, progress and things like that will be transferred over as and when the game comes to the next generation consoles. However, what this has meant is they have postponed the work on the 4K support for the PlayStation. So basically they kind of just paused on that because they were having issues with the FPS. However, it hasn't all gone to waste because now they're focusing on the next generation console. Now, with the COVID, obviously there's been a little bit of a slowdown, they have to admit. However, they do plan to continue doing patches or updates every 5 weeks. So at least we know we have some kind of consistency of new content being brought to the game. In regards to completely new classes of ships, or submersibles I guess you could say, as well. So subs are not yet planned, and that's completely understandable because submarines are still in the testing phase on the PC version, so obviously they want to see how it works on the PC version before they start implementing it onto a console version. And then also they can only really work on introducing one new class at a time, and the priority would be aircraft carriers. Talking about aircraft carriers, yes, they do intend to bring aircraft carriers to the game. And so development is starting on that. However, they're not going to just drop aircraft carriers on us. Expect a number of rounds of testing, similar to the Yamatoevent, the way they did the testing for the legendary ships, which makes sense. In regards to player versus environment scenarios or operations, there's nothing really more planned until the later half of 2021, other than the usual Halloween and April Fool's PvE events. Other game modes under development, the next game mode they're really looking at introducing will be Arms Race. Now Arms Race is quite an interesting game mode. Now, there is quite a detailed breakdown of the game mode when it was released on the PC, and a link to that will be down in the description for those of you who want to see a bit more detail. Now, the next couple of points are going to be some quite quick points. It's almost just what's some planned things to come to the game. Almost just confirmation that they are working on this, really. So obviously an armor layout viewer, basically so you can see what the armor layout of your ship is, how thick is the citadel, how thick is the bow, etc, etc. Where is your citadel? There's also possibly going to be bringing in a more detailed post-battle results screen, which makes sense. Also, this one they're a bit hesitant on. It's called a replay feature. Now that would be almost like being able to capture your games within the game, rather than having to rely on some of the inbuilt systems that comes with the console. It's interesting, but I can see why they may be a little bit hesitant. They basically said it's maybe going to happen, which means I take it that they would like to do it, but they're not quite sure how to do it or when they're going to do it. There's also detailed profile of ships, which is planned. That's basically just going to be slightly more details in regards to the ships, things like what's the alpha, what's the sigma, what's the dispersion, armor penetration of the shells, and other random things like that, really. So just slightly more detail than what we got at the moment. Now, the next thing to cover off is the order wheel and the map ping. Now, some of this is actually confirmed to be coming quite soon, really. So at the end of July, so in the next patch, we should probably be expecting a rework of the command wheel with new commands, Also a ship horn, so you can toot at people if they ram you. Oh god, no, I don't know. There's also going to be an anti-spam filter, so that means that's to stop people spamming commands or spamming the command wheel. Most irritating when it does happen. There's also going to be a muting, so that means if someone is spamming the command wheel, you should be able to mute them. Probably in a similar way that you can mute them if they have a mic. And then also confirmed as possibly coming at the end of September is the ability to ping the map. So that's basically to say attention to this grid, attention to that grid. That I assume will also mean that we'll be getting a grid system to the map, because unless it's just going to flash a box. But the reason why I say I think they're going to introduce a grid system to it, like whether it's letters and numbers, a bit like battleships, is because they're also going to be introducing a chat box / command log at the end of July, so based on the next patch. So when they do the new command wheel, they're also going to be introducing a command log chat box, almost, I guess you say. So it'll log what people have said. So it means if you are using national voices, you can understand what they basically said. Now, they have alluded that there might be a spawn rework, but at the moment they're still collecting more data, and in regards to spawn locations and how they are at the moment, because obviously they have recently reworked them. Now they're working on a secondary armament rework, trying to see what they can do, because obviously on the PC version you can tell your secondaries to prioritize your starboard side or your port side, and therefore it makes these secondaries more effective on that side. However, like they've stated, the limitations with the console game is you are limited by the number of buttons and commands and things like you can put through the controller. So how they're going to do that is not really known. However, we can expect future testing or an early version of it in late 2020. Now, next bit, future legendary ships. USS Worcester confirmed possibly for August or September. So that'll be another legendary ship to add to the Bureau. There's no dates, but they basically said they'd like to see HMS Minotaur come to the game as well. So nothing really confirmed that date-wise. It could be a little bit wish listy. Now, they also said that legendary destroyers will be coming to the game, but they wouldn't confirm what it was. However, I'm going to take it as a hint, but get that salt ready. They said it would be the most legendariest destroyer. So, HMS Daring? Legendariest? I don't know. Am I speculating here? Am I clutching at straws? But wouldn't it be nice to have a British destroyer? Anyway, on to other news. The Megami, in the form of her 6-inch form, basically 15 6-inch guns, looks like it could be a possible future campaign reward. Now, it would be a different ship, so it's not going to be the Megami, but it might be another namesake of that class equipped with 15 6-inch guns instead. So that's going to be something to watch out for. Now, there were some questions in regards to night maps and weather events. Basically, these are maps where there's slightly restricted visibility, meaning that ships with large concealment or large detectability ranges will be slightly more stealthy than normal. Now, in regards to weather events, they're not planned at the moment. However, night maps are planned. I guess it's because the mechanics of a night map is a lot easier, because you simply need to state this and basically make it night and state it's a night map and have the coding or the rules for how a night map works, rather than having to do all the visual effects of, say, a cyclone or something like that. Now, as previously hinted at with the cross-platform VoIP, cross-platform friends lists and divisions are coming. There's no date as yet. Obviously, they said stay tuned, which made me believe it was closer. However, they're still not. They're keeping their lips pursed. However, I still think it's soon. I wouldn't be surprised if it came next patch or at least the patch after, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. Now, in regards to clans, they're currently in development, or development is going to start soon on being able to form clans, but I suspect that clans will drop at the same time as cross-party divisions. Future tech trees for the rest of the year. We're not expecting to get anything exclusive that is not already on PC. However, we should be looking at one new nation this year, one tech tree split, and one new line of full class of ships. So, Italy and French destroyers, that's going to be my speculation. However, one new nation, there's not many nations left unless they're going to do the Commonwealth or Pan-Europe, Pan-Asia. So Italy would make sense because that is a full-on nation, and then one new line of full class of ships, while France is missing destroyers, and it kind of would make sense to get them completed before they the cruisers and the battleships have been out for a year almost. Last few things is that we could expect a Commander Legendary skill rework later this year. And also, in regards to a sandbox mode / training room, this will probably only come when we get closer to more competitive modes, which would make me think maybe when we're looking at clans. So we could be looking at a big patch sometime in the future where we're looking at cross-platform divisions, clans, and a sandbox mode. However, that does seem a bit ambitious. So maybe it will be baby steps. Maybe we'll be looking at clans and sandbox mode sometime after we have cross-console divisions. Well, that's everything from the live stream. If you've got any of your own thoughts, comment below. If you've enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. I'm the Galliford Major, and back to the port.